Hey there, I am a doof turd. I accidentally closed out of photo booth entirely before actually saving my video. Okay, well, I just got home from working a whole lot. My feet are tired, and tell her the story a second time, and maybe it'll be better. So I took the bus home, and guess what happened? No, I did not bump into Justin Timberlake, which I was hoping for, which I usually hope for on Fridays, but no, I ended up getting harassed by this creepy dude. Yeah. So I get on the bus, I've got my bags and everything, and I'm like, don't mess with me, 14 hours of work, don't mess with me, 14 hours of work, and that's basically, like, I totally just have, like, don't mess with me, got Erykah Badu going on in my mind right now, don't fuck with me. So, sit down, the guy sits near me, starts talking to me, starts trying to make conversation, but he's speaking at the same level as the droning of the bus, which probably worked in his advantage because had I heard things the way I realized after I left the bus, I probably would have been more violent. So, first he asks my name, and I just don't answer because I'm just like, I don't really feel like talking. Obviously, I'm doing something. I'm texting someone right now. So that's rude. Strike one. Giving me inappropriate eye contact. That's number two. And then making nasty comments like, if I could, I would fuck you in every single. Yeah, for real. Said that in every kind of way. And I'm like, seriously. I'm like, this is what I said. Seriously. You just said what you just said right now. And he's like, don't worry. I know you're trans. And at that point, like, there was this weird thing that was happening in my mind. I was just like, transgendered, to be, all these different categories. See, for me, when I hear trans, it's like, my association with it is peace, peacefulness, strength. But, it's something very culturally tied to me, very ethnically, genderly, just it's very rooted in me. So to use the word trans is sort of like disarming me. But I mean, at that point I'm like, just give me one more reason, and and he's just like, I know you're trans, and then I'm like, it threw me off a little bit. So I'm just like, I don't know whether or not to punch him or not, and then I didn't, and then I decided to press the button to stop the bus and talk to the bus driver and say, look, this guy is being extremely vulgar. So he's like, I know. And I'm like, are you going to do anything about it? And he's just like, just sitting there. And I'm like, you're stopped right now. Get up. And he's not doing anything. He's just like, I know, I'm sorry. And I'm like, really? Like, no wonder why the bus only costs $1, because it's like sometimes crappy attitudes. So like stupid like attitude from the bus driver probably would make a complaint. But in any case, what was I gonna say? So the guy is just like Googling me, and at this point I'm just like ready to just like tower over him and just be like, for real, I'm gonna bring it. So he's still like looking at me, and I'm like, seriously, I'm 2 for 2 today, don't make it 3 for 3, don't make it 3. And then he's like, what are you talking about? And finally, I'm at my bus stop. I told the bus driver to stop me, not my usual stop, but a little bit after, where there's more businesses and such. So yeah. Anyways, and I told him, if you're going to do something, if you're just going to sit down here, make sure he doesn't get off the bus anywhere near here. So that was that. Let the bus go, and, waited till it was out of vision, and then I crossed over. But super, super aggravating. Because, there was a whole plethora of UNCA students that were just not doing anything. They were just watching, and it's just like, seriously, is this the reason why, like, campus sexual assaults and harassment happen so frequently? Because nobody says anything. And that's the point. Like, you can't sometimes stop what happens, but you can minimize the extent to which that thing happens by speaking up. So, I don't know, one thing I want to say to you people, serious moment, is don't be one of those people. Like, if you can't do something yourself, then find somebody else who can. But, I mean, you might find yourself in a situation where you can't handle it. I may have found myself in a situation where I may have not been able to handle it. But, you know, I know my street smarts, but at the same time, I would like to have human decency be a higher tier that I can rely on. And then street smarts, you know, pretty close to that up there. But don't be one of those people. If you see something, say something. Okay? So, 2 for 2. I totally was doing my best today to talk to my employers to make sure that I will have income, because income is great. It keeps your skin soft and, you know, your eyes from dilating. But no, seriously, my status today on Facebook, I'm going to bring up a Facebook status. Let's see, what was my Facebook status? Can't even remember. I liked it. I don't like the way Facebook looks, by the way. It's so confusing. Oh, okay. Okay, it's Friday, and that only means one thing. I'm kicking ass today. You know, and that's pretty much what I did. And I wanted to make sure that, you know, I had as much that I could fight for, and fight for a little bit more, you know, not to settle on, you know, mediocrity, basically. So, I can go into the whole schmibble about the whole thing, but for the sake of my own privacy, because certain matters are actually kind of, topsy-turvy and require a little bit more confidentiality. This will be released with the I'm just imagining like government documents like being released 30 years later, or like a Disney video that's been locked in a vault and then brought out 25 years later. So it's gonna have to be like that for a little bit. So, but just know that I've done a lot, all that I've could to make things work, and I'm really proud of myself. So it's been overall a good day. So that's the word. This is take 2, and take 2 means that I did another video before this, which means I was hungry before I did the second one. So I'm actually going to go eat and get my food on. And I'm glad I got back home okay and safely. But seriously, there's always going to be some sort of threat or some sort of issue, no matter where you go. You know, and you don't necessarily think about those things along the way. But, you know, you keep your guard up. And you especially have to keep your guard up, like, as a woman. It's just something that I never really thought of as a dude. For real. So, take care of each other, speak up, I'm coming for you. And I'm not going to press Control, Apple, Q. He's going to hit stop.